If I can't find something nice to wear, I'm not going. Ooh. That's it, I'm not going.
Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna be doing this Grinch makeup inspired look. I wasn't even going to do all of this, to be honest. I was only gonna do the eyes and maybe like a cute little nose and just the top lip. But I was like, what the hell? Let's just give it a whirl. Let's try it out. Let's have some fun. So I did paint from my nose and my cheeks down, not too far down, to be honest. I just want the face to be the main, you know, focus of today's tutorial. I had so much fun doing this makeup look, you guys. I love Christmas. I love watching the Grinch.
Gaze into the face of fear. Booga booga.
I love the cartoon version as well as the one that we all know. And I was actually watching it right now for inspiration, and it really did help. And of course, if you felt inspired by today's tutorial, please tag me on Instagram because you know that I love to see your recreations. So if you want to know how I got this Grinch makeup look, then please keep on watching. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off with my brows. I'm going to go into this Jaclyn Volume 1 palette with Morphe, into this nice dark hunter green shade. And I'm using a Anastasia Beverly Hills brow brush, but I want my eyebrows to look green, obvio, because of the Grinch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start to fill in my brows with this nice dark green shade. It kind of looks black, which is kind of a good thing. And now I'm gonna go into the Urban Decay Eden Primer as per usual, because I do trust this eyeshadow primer a lot, especially when I'm gonna be going in with really heavy and bold eyeshadows. Next, I'm going to go into this e.l.f. eye tape, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut it down the middle, and I'm going to place it towards the outer corners of my eyes. This is really going to help to really make the eyeshadow look more pulled back. And then I'm going to go into the James Charles palette and collab with Morphe, and I'm using a Morphe M433 brush, and what we're going to do, you guys, is just focus this eyeshadow mainly towards the outer corner, because I really want that outer corner to look really pulled back. And I want it to look very like catty. I don't know. That's just the style that I am going for. So we're just going to focus this mainly, like I said, towards the outer corner. Next, going to this nice light green shade from the same palette from Morphe and James Charles. I'm going to start to just blend out the edges of the first shade that we place, because remember, we don't want any harsh lines. We want this to look very, you know, soft, and we don't want to see where the eyeshadow start and stops. And I am using a very light hand when it comes to blending out the edges of eyeshadows, especially if we're using eyeshadows like green or anything more bright. We want to make sure that there's no visible lines that are peeking through. We want everything to look nice and blended. Jumping into the Jaclyn Hill palette, once again, Volume 1 with Morphe. I'm going to be picking up that dark green that we used for the brows, and I'm going to darken up the outer corner, because I want this outer corner to look more intense, more darker. I just wouldn't feel comfortable just leaving the two shades that we just placed. But like I said, totally up to you. You guys can, you know, tweak whatever you want when it comes to this eyeshadow. If you don't like it to be too dark, you definitely don't have to. I'm going to go into this light green shade from this palette from Cara Beauty. And then I'm going to start to blend out the edges on top of that other green that we had placed. Jumping back into the Urban Decay Eden Primer, I'm going to start to create my half cut crease. You can also create a full-on cut crease if you want, but I definitely want this to look more pulled back, so I definitely prefer to go into a half cut crease, and then just blending that out with a different brush. Going back to the James Charles palette, and just like I always do, just blend out the edges, because we don't want to see that concealer. So that way it's so important that you blend out the concealer or the eye primer that you're using, because you don't want to see a really straight cut, like a really straight line there. You want to make sure you blend that out, blend out your creams, and then place your powders on top, like I'm doing here, just tapping and patting, and then just moving back and forth towards just that outer corner of the eye. And then going back to this other Cara Beauty palette, and I'm going to use this nice green shade. I'm going to place it all over the crease, and this color, you guys, is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. And don't worry, you guys already know that everything that I use in this video will be listed down below for you guys. I'm going in with a little bit of that green from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and just buffing out the outer corners, so that way there's no harsh lines with that shimmery shadow. And then taking this black eye pencil from Urban Decay, and I'm going to go ahead and tide line my eyes, and then also smoke the top, but just towards the outer corner only. I don't want to take it all the way towards the inner corner. And then I do switch over to a pencil brush just to blend that out, and I take more of that green shade from that Jaclyn Hill palette to soften up those lines. And then I'm going to use two glitters, as you guys can see here, and going into the Lit Cosmetics. This is their glitter adhesive, and I'm going to place that first on my lid, and then I do mix both glitters together, and then I place that on top. I mainly keep it right in the center of my lid, and then with whatever I have left, I start to take it up towards the inner corner of my eyes. Not so much towards the outer corner. And these lashes, you guys, I don't remember which brand that is, I'm so sorry, but I applied those and applied that Milk Cosmetics waterproof mascara. And now I'm going to go ahead and just remove the eye tape, and look how clean that looks. Now I'm going to go into the Professional by Benefit, and I'm going to apply this primer mainly where I have deeper pores, which is around the cheeks and on my nose, just to really blur those out. And then on the other areas, like my chin and my forehead, which are more my dry areas, I apply the Too Faced Hangover Primer. It's one of my favorite primers, especially if you have dry skin, you would really like that. For foundation, the Too Faced Born This Way Matte Foundation, and then the Makeup Forever Concealer. For cream contour, I'm going to Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation in the shade Y505, and just applying it where I normally always do. You guys have seen this a million times. And next I'm going to go ahead and just blend out the concealer under the eyes, and of course the other areas where we did place that concealer, and then going back to that contour brush to just buff out any harsh lines before we do go in with powder. And of course we have to contour and snatch that nose, girl. And then just taking the sponge again just to blend out any harsh lines. Going into the One Size Translucent Powder, I'm going to start to just set the areas where we placed concealer, because you know what? I also forgot to tell you guys that I shouldn't have put foundation towards the bottom half of my face, like nose down, because we're going to remove it anyways. But you guys will see. And I'm just applying some bronzer from Maybelline, and then this Estate Cosmetics highlighter, baked highlighter in the shade By. Just on the bridge of my nose, inner corner, and a little bit on my forehead. Next, going into this Urban Decay pencil in the shade Overdrive. And I'm going to place this towards the bottom lash line. Using this as like an eyeshadow base, so that way the eyeshadows can pop a little bit more and stick more. So I'm just going back into the same eyeshadows that we used in the crease, and just bringing it all down to the bottom lash line. So that way it all matches perfectly. And then I'm going back to that black pencil again from Urban Decay, and I'm going to apply this right in my waterline. And smudge it a little bit towards the bottom lashes, and then switching brushes to really smooth that out, and going back into that dark green shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette to set that black eyeliner. So here's the part that I was telling you guys. I shouldn't have put foundation, but it's kind of tricky because I still want my contour to still show. To outline where I want the mask, I am using a white eye pencil by Morphe, because if you make a mistake, you can erase it right away, and it's super easy to correct and start again. We're going to go into paint like you guys see here. Now, this paint, I did buy it at the Michaels store, and it's the Snazu or something like that. I don't remember the name of the brand, but I'll link it down below for you guys. I'm just using a Fenty foundation brush to apply it. I'm going into the green and to the yellow because I want the Grinch to not look too dark, because if it's too green, you won't be able to see the details. So you want to make sure that it's like more like on the lime green. And then to add the details to the Grinch, I'm going to be using eyeshadow from that Jaclyn Hill palette volume 1. Because any mistakes, it's really easy to remove if we start with eyeshadow, and then we can start all over again. I'm going back into that Cara Beauty palette into that nice green glittery shade. I'm going to apply it right on my nose. I didn't use any Fix Plus or any setting spray or glitter adhesive. I just went directly into the pan and just put it on my nose, and it stuck. So what's really helping me create the Grinch's smile is me actually smiling a little bit. And I'm just trying to figure out where my little creases are at when I smile. So Just follow your natural creases, or you can also grab a picture off Pinterest or Instagram, whoever inspires you. You can, you know, possibly follow that, or you can follow mine. So I'm applying some eyeshadow towards like on the, by the cupid's bow of my mouth, and then on my chin to create that little butt chin. And then now just creating more like little details around the face. And then I am going to start to shade it in with this pencil from Morphe. So use a small detail brush to create some shade. And then I'm going to apply on my lips. I'm going to go into this black eyeliner from Maybelline. And then going into this liquid catsuit liquid lipstick from Wet n Wild. It is matte. And then into this other Wet n Wild eye pencil, which is green. And I'm just filling in the lower portion of my mouth. And then removing the bottom lip because the Grinch doesn't have anything on the bottom lip. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to create some more details above my cheeks. For the whiskers, I use a black eyeliner and just created like small little dots. And yeah, you can get as creative as you want, you guys. You can create as much shading as you want. I went back into the Morphe palette and collab with James Charles, and I'm using that white eyeshadow just to make this specific area by the smile lines pop a little bit more, so that way it looks a little bit more realistic. And that's pretty much it, you guys. You could definitely cover your entire body if you want with the green paint. But this is just, I just want the main face to be the focus on my Instagram pictures. So you can do whatever you want. So this is my take on the Grinch makeup. Definitely more on the glam side. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Alright, honeys, and that is it for today's makeup look inspired by the Grinch. I hope you guys had fun doing this tutorial with me if you were following along, or if you did feel inspired and you do it on your own, please tag me on Instagram because I love to see your guys' recreations. Remember, you guys can always tweak everything. This is just my version. I'm not the greatest painter artist on myself. I try. I'm more into like eyeshadows and full-on beat and glam looks. So I honestly did have a lot of fun doing this part and painting myself. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click that little notification bell which does notify you every single time that I upload a new video here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram if you're not following me. And thank you again, you guys, for showing me so much love and support. Besitos, los quiero mucho, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
It's not a dress, it's a kilt! Sicko!